left. Taking each day as it comes. You know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything. BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcast app you're using. And yes, it's not Tuesday night.
It's Wednesday. Hi.
Wednesday.
We are live currently on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. And you might be watching this a little later on youtube.com/postwrestling. Where have you found us? Hello.
Doesn't matter where you found us, because wherever we are, we'll always be your NXT friends. Friends. Whether it's Tuesday night, Wednesday day, doesn't matter. We're Canadian. You're Canadian now, Lou.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
you are Canadian. And we decided to take off July 4th.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here on the 5th. But you know what? It was a great day to take off because reading not only the Washington Post, but a few other big news websites are saying yesterday, July 4th, 2023, was the hottest day ever recorded. What? Is that why I was dripping sweat all night?
Guys,
today?
recycle, walk when you don't need to drive. Like, let's protect this planet now. Like, we're fucking it up.
It was hot.
I don't want to get on my pedestal, but like it's
soapbox.
We apologize.
You hear our fans
for any fans you hear in the background.
It is
but
so
like,
hot.
Sorry, it gets to a point. We gotta have fans on and AC on to do this because it's gross.
It's a scorcher.
It's very hot.
The kid is hot tonight. The kid is hot, and it is very hot. So Chris Leone in the chat saying maybe it's because all the ship burning.
All the burning.
All the burning of the ships is why it's
Corbin's
so hot.
crown, Corbin's waistcoat.
That's where the smog is coming from. This forest fires. No.
All these shitty gimmicks.
It's
Baron
Corbin
Corbin
burning his shit. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's really hot out, and we're recording this during the day on Wednesday. We will be back live Tuesday night next week for NXT. To be honest, we're a little wrestled out, and when I say a little, a lot.
It doesn't stop.
It just never effing
Are we gonna
stops.
roar in Buffalo on Monday?
Oh, why would you say that? Io Sky gonna be there?
She's SmackDown, is she? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We get someone to drive us.
Yeah. No more wrestling. No more concerts. No more.
We went to.
We're gonna be hermits.
Yeah, we went to 4 nights of wrestling last week, including Collision, Forbidden Door, Dynamite, Command Lucha. All were fun times. We've also been going to some concerts, especially last-minute concerts. Davey and I were roommates. We live right downtown by the water in Toronto, near like all the big venues. And living near Budweiser stage is a gift and a curse because it can be like, hey, Davey, do you want to go see, for no reason at all, Noel Gallagher's Flying Birds because it's only like $20? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then we watched Garbage. They didn't do World Is Not Enough.
No, I was kind of pissed.
They were pretty good, though.
They were good.
For being a bunch of oldies,
yeah, they were good.
Looked really old, but
Noel Gallagher was great as well. Like,
yeah.
I was asked if I want to go to this, and I was like, like, it's not, like, we've gone to some country concert where I know none of the music, but at least it's, like, kind of, fun time. I was like, Noel Gallagher, he's good, but I don't know if it's, like, a vibe.
You want to hear one half of Oasis?
Yeah, but you know what? He was really good, and he knew what he was doing. He started off, did about, like, 3-4 songs, and was like, now I've got the new shit out the way, let's do the old shit. And then does like his popular like High Flying Bird stuff.
Yeah.
And then just ends with Oasis.
Yeah, this summer
I assume the songs he wrote, I imagine, are the ones he
apparently wrote. He was a bigger of the songwriter, but obviously it was Liam who's the more of the singer, but I thought he sounded fine too.
I thought he was great, actually. Like I had a great time there.
Yeah, we saw Garbage and Noel Gallagher a few weeks ago. You might have heard us. We saw like a bunch of shows. Alexis on Fire, Pup, Shaggy, TLC, on Vogue. Man, I went to see Lord Huron last week, and then I booked tickets for this show last night. I went to see this guy, Charlie Crockett, who's also kind of country, and I would recommend anyone who wants some new music, check him out. But I bought these like a long time ago, and it sold out right away. And I was like, oh no, it's on a Tuesday, July 4th. And then he announced the second show. So I was like, well, does anyone want to swap tickets? And like, no one was like, whatever. Even though apparently it was his first ever concert in Canada, because when he was a kid, he got criminal charges. So this was his first ever. He finally got a passport, and I feel like the next time this guy visits Canada, it's probably going to be at a bigger venue. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of concerts. We've been going to a lot of wrestling. I've been in full summer mode, to be honest. I've been waiting.
Good so far.
The winter was tough. It was cold. It was just miserable, gray, and now I'm in like full. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the city really comes alive in the summer, and it's been fun, and we've got so much more to look forward to with, you know, SummerSlam coming up. We're starting to kind of put together what we think that card is going to be for SummerSlam, so that's super exciting, going to Detroit for that. And then we've got All In and All In It coming up in next month, and reported like 75,000 tickets pretty much.
Crazy.
Like they're only a few hundred away from hitting that milestone.
Can they beat WWE? I think they will.
They very well could. Yeah,
I think they could.
It's gonna be crazy. Like watching, you know, going to Forbidden Door recently, watching that Money in the Bank pay-per-view with that UK crowd, and just think like that was 18,000 times that by like 4, 5. Like it's gonna be
quick maths.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy there. I'm so looking forward to whatever card they put on. Just that atmosphere is gonna be wild.
It's got to be Kenny Will 3.
I think so.
I
think we're starting to put together the card for that one as well.
Yeah.
I put out a little tweet the other day, kind of my like where I see it going and what could be a good card, and I'd love to see all your kind of dream cards for All In, All Out.
I think MJF Punk.
Yeah,
would imagine
it's
that.
when they do that in Chicago the
true.
following week. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we're going to just the big house show, right? And then the pay-per-views the week after.
Yeah.
We're putting together. Oh, they're gonna do this match. No, we're
getting Kid Stadium.
Yeah, this is Collision. So the real one's gonna be in Chicago. Yeah.
Also, some breaking news. We have hit the point where we can now monetize on YouTube. That means we are now accepting super chats. That means now we can annoy you with ad breaks in our videos and make a little bit of money here to fund our trip.
Yeah,
to
hey,
the UK.
If you like our content and maybe you don't subscribe to the Patreon or whatever, maybe you're a YouTuber, you can find us whenever we go live. Follow the socials, join the Facebook group. We'll always post when we go live on YouTube, as always, here on the Poisonrana feed. Sundays, we go live around 2 p.m. Eastern time, and that's when we chat about everything going on in the world of wrestling. So join us. And now we have super chats. So if you put in a super chat, we will read it. We will take your monies. We will take your donations, and we will put it towards our funds to All In. So yeah, because YouTube changed
until it's shut down, because we're just getting email after email of all these videos we made like years ago that are now getting flagged.
Yeah. So support us before you can't anymore. But yeah, we're trying to monetize because YouTube did change some things that kind of allows smaller content creators like ourselves to do this kind of stuff. So we're actually really excited. We didn't realize because they changed things, we fit the quota kind of quicker than we thought. So thank you, everyone. And hit subscribe, hit that like. It goes a very, very long way.
Honestly, yeah. Oh, and we got our first super chat
from John
Siino. And congrats to Siino with Collision Course, which is proving to be a success so far. John and Kate from Montreal reviewing Collision every week with that bop of a theme.
Absolutely. Siino's killing it. I was just listening to him and Be Detroit over on our Poisonrana feed with What Up Doe. That's on the free feed where they're chatting a lot about AEW Fight Forever, some honest reviews on that, and then some chat about how we got them silly in Toronto. they said we lived the gimmick, Davey.
Yeah.
Usually that's what happens. But that's a great show. Siino also doing Shot in the Dark on our Poisonrana feed every week, covering in 15 minutes or less all the wrestling that you may or may not watch. So lots and lots of shows there. Thank you, Siino, for that. While on the plugs, you want to hear more of us, patreon.com/Poisonrana. You can become a friend for $5 a month. You get access to everything coming up and access to everything in the back there. Retro NXT reviews, retro pay-per-view reviews like Vengeance 2006, which we just put out. RVD versus Edge, Cena versus Sabu.
Kane versus Kane.
Spirit Squad. It's just a great show. So that's something you can get access to. But this weekend, we are looking at Midsummer.
And we really are midsummer right now with this heat going on. So perfect time to talk about this film. I am really excited about revisiting this one. I saw it once when it was in theaters. Did kind of stick with me. I'm thinking Old Naked People and Rocks is like implanted in my brain for this film. And we're going to be joined by Chris Leone, who is always a great chat. Like we talked to him about Twilight Zone, Les Mis, He's always really insightful on these reviews, so really looking forward to chatting with Chris.
I know people are big fans of Midsummer, and it's a great pick from Chris, so we're going to be chatting to that. You can become a family member like Chris Leone, and it allows you to pick stuff that will eventually have you on it as well. But lots of shows coming out this month. The July schedule is coming out. I know that we have our Facebook group. Again, join it because we put up polls, and the Shark Week poll, even though Shark Week's at the end of this month, the reviews are coming in. The votes are coming in.
And it looks like it's a clear winner for this one.
The Meg?
Unfortunately not. I was pushing for Open Water, but it is Jaws.
How come someone voted Flipper? You're like, guys, I mean, I'd be down. Flipper? Is that Elijah Wood?
Yeah.
And Paul Hogan?
Elijah Wood, yeah.
Yeah. Banger. I'm going to put that on later for no reason.
I saw that at my friend Nadim's birthday
Shout out
party.
Nadim. What about Free Willy? When's Orca Week?
Orca Week.
When's Orca Month? Killer Whale Week. We need. Let's support them.
There's got to be an Orca Week. And there's Orca
Isn't
Week.
there like a super villain named Orca? Like Aquaman fights or something?
June. Oh, we just missed.
We
Orca
missed
Week.
Orca Week.
We could have done Free. We were kind of busy.
Free Willy. Any reason to listen to that Michael Jackson song?
Yeah.
Good movie. But yeah, that's coming out. A lot of stuff coming out in July. Follow the socials. You'll see what we have coming out. Some more wrestling stuff. I think we're going to be looking at possibly a Great American Bash, since
makes sense.
We're going to be talking about one in a few weeks as well with NXT. So that's probably coming out there as well. Always a fun. I think we looked at the match, but we could go back and look at the Flair Terry Funk whole show maybe.
I think we might do a poll on that as well. Whether it be see what you want us to do. Do you want like a best match ever Great American Bash? Because that way we can look at WCW, WWE, and NXT.
Yeah.
Or do you want like a review from the 6 where we specifically look at one? I'm sure there's a lot to talk about. Whatever we choose, so we'll leave that up to you as well. It's poll month here.
Poll month
because we're getting lazy.
Yeah, we're gearing up for us to go away for all in next month, and we do have some pretty unique show ideas that will be launching in August for like this hype up thing. So look forward to that definitely. But support us, guys. It's only $5 to become a friend, and again, there's like hours, hundreds of podcasts that you haven't checked out before that you can go in that back catalog. Whether it's movies, wrestling, it's all there.
Yep. So patreon.com/PoisonRana. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Quote, I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, we did do that, our first one somewhere back on that catalog.
We never finished. I still know. Wait,
I still know. Jack Black.
Rasta Jack Black.
Rasta Jack Black. Yeah, never forget.
And then we're like, all right, we're out.
As a lot of people, I think. Although they're bringing that movie back or something. I think. They're like relaunching.
Doing it like a TV show, is
Probably.
it? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Who knows?
Well, before this heat gets to our head, maybe we should power through some NXT chatter.
I think so.
And for anyone who uses social media and maybe doesn't like Twitter, again, reminder, at Poisonrana Pod, Twitter and Instagram. We got to get those rookie numbers up, baby. Yeah. I know you use Instagram, and you got to follow us.
And honestly, if you do go on these YouTube videos, click that thumbs up button, click subscribe. It costs nothing, and it does help. Like it gets these videos kind of popping up in other people's feeds, and we want more people to find us because we're fucking great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, let's talk about some NXT from July 4th. Happy 4th, y'all. 2023. And we kick off with a match. Blair Davenport, the NXT attacker, is coming out to face off against Roxanne Perez. A bit of a grudge match here because Blair's been putting the boots to Roxy quite a few too many times. When she's attacked in her entrance by Roxanne, a little taste of her own medicine here. Roxanne attacks her and eventually bringing the fight, and the match starts. Roxy is just sending her to the outside, and then the Thez press keeps attacking and staying on Blair here, who eventually comes back, hits a running PK in the ropes. Looks pretty deadly here as they go to break. There's then Blair, who's just in control. She has like the cravat, or is it a gravat? And then she just keeps kneeing her in the head pretty much through the entire break. When we come back, there's a huge rolling forearm from Blair for a near fall. Roxy then just gets super frantic and starts striking and punching and just going balls to the wall here. Eventually on the outside, Blair throws Roxy into the steps, hits a Falcon Arrow, and then a Kamagoye, and then another one, and pins Roxanne. Clean,
yeah. I think these two are possibly the best women on this NXT roster. They're very polished at this point. I have really enjoyed Perez's extra aggression in recent weeks. It's something I didn't feel she really tapped into with the Cora Jade feud, which was surprising. Whereas this feud, she's like, I thought her promo the other week was had a bit more like oomph to it. And I think her wrestling has, like, wrestling this kind of grudge match style. I liked her, like, speed right at the top of the match. And surprising, like, clean win here from Blair Davenport. It seemed very convincing. So I wonder if that's it for this feud or whether we'll get a rematch at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't like Roxanne when she's like the little kid who's like, oh, I can't wait to, like, I'm just not into that kind of storyline. I think she wrestles a lot better when she's trying to, not hurt someone, but trying to fight someone.
Especially as a smaller person. I mean, I think that's where, like, someone like a Darby Allin is very convincing, even though he's tiny, because he just throws himself around. And that's what you were getting here with Roxy.
Yeah, and I'm not too high on Blair Davenport, but I thought she looked good here as well. I do find a lot of her moves are just like, that's a good move. I'm going to use that move now. Like, she's using the Kamigoye. She does the Shibata running PK. Like, she does a lot of similar moves, but that's just wrestling. But she looked good. So
I wonder if we'll have a bit of a face turn from Tiffany, because I'm looking at the babyface side, and especially with Roxanne losing here, there isn't really any baby faces to challenge Tiffany.
It's possible.
And I feel like Davenport will probably be a logical challenger at some point. So I see maybe, especially that they protected Tiff with clean wins as well. She hasn't really been cheating.
Well, no, she did last week. She tapped out and then...
Okay, but that was more like
the other
Gulak and Dempsey, wasn't it?
Right.
Like costing Thea rather than
Sure.
her being dirty. So, I wonder if we'll see a bit of a turn.
Possibly, because the crowd are getting behind Tiffany just because her wrestling has just been so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tiffany, that's where we go next. Kinda. Ivy Niles is with Mackenzie backstage, and she's talking about the match tonight with Schism taking on the Creed brothers in a Loser Leaves NXT match. And in walks the NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, in a ridiculous red outfit. Very Britney Spears-esque here. See, like, how can she be the heel? So she then says, like, oh, Ivy, I hear what you've been saying, and if you want to lay a challenge out, then I'll accept it. So next week, Ivy will take on Tiffany.
Yes.
In a what could be a pretty good wrestling match, because again, Tiffany's wrestling has improved, and I don't know if you've seen some interviews she's been doing lately where she kind of said what we've been assuming for the past little while is, well, she's made it public that she's been dating Kaiser from the main roster. She's now like, yeah, I've learned a thing or two from him.
Right.
We've been training together. It's like, yeah, you're a couple, and this guy's an amazing wrestler.
Yeah.
You've probably learned a lot from him. So she's kind of giving him his flowers.
She's good, and I think a lot of the time we see Ivy when she gets a match, it's normally like middle of the show, 3-minute kind of match. So hopefully we get to see a bit more of Ivy next week being against
Ivy too,
the
yeah.
champ. So
Yeah, Tiff v. Ivy next week. We see Mustafa Ali making his entrance here. He's going to be waiting for a while because then they go to commercial break and then we come back and it's not that match yet. Instead, it's a vignette, a video promo here. We see whiskey glasses. We see a stuffed owl. We see Baron Corbin.
time to burn some ships.
He says, no more of that lone wolf nostalgia. It's I am the lone wolf. It's not about the money or the fame. I've had that. I got the money. I got the fame. I got the family. And then just keeps cutting to him drinking whiskey for some reason. He says, they've always told me the same thing. I've been consistent. I've been safe. I've been good. I don't think anyone's been saying that, mate. He says, good. That's not good enough. What I want is to be feared and respected. So who's next for Corbin? I didn't work 8 years to say who's next for Corbin. I'm going to burn all the ships, as he's now in like this like boiler room with this big open fire thing. And he's taking his King Corbin crown, he's throwing it in the fire. He takes his Happy Corbin shirt and hat, throws it in there.
His like Applebee's server
Shirt,
uniform.
takes his steaks,
Yeah.
puts it in there because it looks like that's how he likes them. He's just burning all the past gimmicks, and he says, no more gimmicks, no bullshit. So new Corbin coming soon.
I'm kind of intrigued. I actually, I thought him and Melo had a good match last week, and there's something for me that maybe it's maybe it's an ironic love, but I am kind of intrigued with this Baron Corbin character, where he's going next. I want to see this guy make it one day.
You want to? I mean,
yeah,
he's been on the main.
No, I want to see him make it. I want
retired credential.
It took Sheamus a long time to get the respect of the fans. I want that from Barry Corbs right here.
Okay, well, an update because we've been asking, what is Burn the Ships? Like, what's going on with this shirt that he's been wearing, Burn the Ships? So John Siino, friend of the show, obviously we were mentioning, he tweeted out earlier, does Baron Corbin mean burn the relationships to his past gimmicks as he's throwing the stuff in the fire? And Siino said that we owe Baron Corbin an apology for making fun of Burn the Ships. I responded, absolutely not apologizing. And Baron Corbin replied to us, I don't know what you did, but apologize. So you were quick to the draw with, hey, bud, I hope you're doing well. What does Burn the Ships mean? Big fan. And Baron Corbin replied, didn't he, Davey?
He did indeed.
So we now know that he's referring to Cortez, meaning Burn the Ships, and this whole servantnetwork.wordpress.com. Wow, Baron Corbin had this fucking ready to reply to you.
I mean, I to be fair, I've been tweeting him for about a month now, weekly, asking him.
The phrase burn the ships comes from a historic conquest of history when in 1519, Spanish conquistador Hernando Cortez landed in Mexico on the shores of the Yucatan, butchered that one, with only one objective, seize the great treasures known to be there, hoarded by the Aztecs. Basically, there's no turning back. Burn the ships. We're not leaving. We're staying here.
Moving on, yeah.
So Baron Corbin is using burn the ships, meaning there's no turning back, yet he's back in NXT to wrestle in development. I don't know if that quite...
But he's burning everything. He's burning the last 8 years of his career.
Right.
The new...
No turning back, but I'm going back.
New Corbin.
To be Baron Corbin, the lone wolf. All right, so burn the ships.
No, he said no lone wolf either.
No lone wolf?
Yeah.
So what is he going to be?
But we'll see next week, I guess.
Right.
Burn the ships. Burn all the ships.
Burn the ships. No turning back.
Yeah. My new favorite wrestler, Baron Corbin. What a guy.
I mean, he seems like a nice fellow.
He seems like a nice bloke. Yeah.
He seems like we'd have a great time. He'd probably show us some nice whiskey he's got.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know anything, if you're a casual fan, you're watching this, you're like, sorry, is this guy's gimmick? He's a whiskey connoisseur? Because they just kept zooming in on the glasses and stuff. But I'm like, all right, like, you seem cooler this way. If I was rich, I'd have giant owls in my house too. So,
yeah.
Like,
yeah. He like, what do they call that?
Stuff? Taxidermy?
Taxidermy, yeah.
I never understood that. Never understood like the fascination of people getting stuffed animals.
Yeah.
In their house. Especially if it's like your own animal.
Yeah, that's strange. It's,
weird,
right?
Right?
Often like hunting, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
He probably killed that
you
deer.
You think Baron Corbin killed this owl?
Killed the owl? Is that going to be his new shirt? Kill the owl?
Kill the owl, burn the ships.
Burn the ships.
Yeah. Maybe he's just a big fan of OVO. I'm not sure. But yeah, the new and improved whiskey drinking, owl shooting Baron Corbin.
Love
next week. Can't wait. Burn the ships. But now we go to our next match. Mustafa Ali taking on Tyler Bate in what we assume is kind of a
unofficial number one contenders match.
Yeah. So Ali's been kind of cheeky when he was the special guest referee doing slow counts, fast counts. But here, no special ref, just one-on-one. Lots of countering each other here. Huge chant for Prince Ali, even though, again, he's not playing heel, but he's kind of leaning in that direction. They're countering each other with like roll-ups and pinning attempts. Ali, getting the best of him, starts to do Tyler Bates like strong man, big strong boy pose to get some boos from the crowd. Eventually, Ali counters Tyler into some submissions. They keep trading submissions here. Ali puts him in a crossface. Distasteful? No. There's an ankle
lock.
Not
in Canada and not on an anniversary of a murder suicide. So
Tyler Bate, there's an ankle lock there. A huge drop kick from Bate as they go to break. Ali is in control. When we come back, Bate goes for the bop and bang. It's blocked. Ali goes for his jumping neck breaker, but in midair, Bate counters with the bop and bang finally. They both get back up. There's the Tyler driver countered into a super kick and a sweet-looking STF from Ali here. Eventually, Bate goes for the airplane spin, and I'm not sure why nobody has countered it like this before, but the airplane spinning around and around. Finally, Ali counters it into a satellite DDT. This looked awesome. The crowd here at the CWC waking up here. Bate comes back, sends him to the outside, hits a tope. Ali gets back up and sends him to the outside and hits a tope of his own. Back in the ring, Bate hits his like upside down lariat, goes for the spiral tap, but misses. They're then both on the top rope. And this is where Ali, again, not really playing anything heel, but just ever so slightly kind of lets go of Tyler Bate, allowing him to crotch him on the ropes. And then this little smile,
the smug
little
going
grin
on,
as he then hits the 450 to pick up the win. Ali beating Bate, and then looks at the camera on the way up to the ramp and says, Wesley, take this as the official challenge. I want you and the North American title at the Great American Bash.
Love it. Yeah, I really enjoyed this match between these two. Like, it was, this is kind of what I felt we should have got the other week with Bate and Wes. Like, really nice back and forth, nice counters, transitions. Both are so smooth and good at what they do. And I like Ali kind of this heel version of him, just being a bit of a prick, really. And I could see him maybe taking it off of Wes.
Me too. I think the final reveal of him doing something really dastardly has to happen at Great American Bash. For the weeks leading up, he's going to be coy. He's going to be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking
like,
about.
knocking off the ropes, like, it's fair game, but it's also still a bit dirty. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see, like, you know, a low blow finish or something like that. But, yeah, good match.
Yeah, honestly, a really good match. I love Ali's wrestling. I love Bate. Both guys could be doing this on a bigger stage, but I really got into it as more than I thought I would, for sure. But I am excited for Ali and Wes, if that's the direction. Or do you think they add Bate in because he's like, oh, I mean, he got pinned clean.
No,
really.
I think the singles is stronger, and especially if you're doing a title switch.
Yeah.
Booker T had his guns out tonight.
Booker T, tickets to the gun show, indeed. July 4th. I guess he's celebrating because he's just in his tank top. It's G.I. Bro here at the commentary desk.
Remember that time when he called Vic a bum? He said, yeah, and now he's just guns out.
Well, it's funny you said that, because remember, what you're referring to is when Booker showed up and he started commentating and he's dressed nice. And he said to Vic, you know, what is this, Casual Tuesday? What are you wearing, right? He said you look like a bum, because he's just in his, like, he didn't look like a bum, but, you know.
T-shirt and jacket kind of thing.
Vic Joseph, tweet last night or this morning, screenshot here with both of them, and says, you know, Casual Tuesday.
There was one point it showed, and Vic was just
like, what?
Like, side-eye and laughing at, like, Book, what's going on?
So normally I'd be like, Book, come on, you're on TV, what's going on? However, Booker T completely yoked. Like, he's Booker T. He's never not been jacked. And also, as I was saying earlier, hottest day ever recorded. You know what, Book? You rocked that t-shirt.
This was recorded last week, though.
Was it?
Yeah,
oh,
it was a tape show.
Oh, well, he wanted to be in the tank top.
Oh, good for him.
Sometimes you just got to. He looked like he was ready to have a best of 7 series right now.
I thought he was having a run-in or something. I think too many people have gone through that announce table by him that he was just ready to...
That's the tank top in the Bad Bunny music video
where
he's just standing there. I love me some Booker T. He's looking jacked. We never got that Kofi match, but we kind of need it now.
Yeah.
I know we need something. This guy looks like no
Kofi's
bread.
Still injured?
I don't know. It's all meat right here. We see Joe Gacy and Ava Raine backstage, and they're being interviewed about the Schism Diamond Mine match later. And Mackenzie's like, "Hey, Gacy, you kind of pushed them to do this match." And he says, "No, I never pushed them. I would never do that. And tonight we're going to prove that 4 roots, 1 tree."
He was kind of leading us to think maybe there's going to be a swerve, because he kept saying the right team will win and strengthen the schism.
Yeah.
So not necessarily saying like my boys are going to win, but like the right team will win.
Yeah.
So kind of making you think that in that match maybe there'll be a bit of a turn or something, which there wasn't.
Yeah, a red herring. Kind of. We go to our next match. Tatum Paxley's in the ring, and she's going up against newcomer Kelani Jordan.
Yeah. Dana Brooke's best mate.
Yeah, Dana Brooke managing here. Dana Brooke in her best July 4th attire, Dixie Dukes. And we kind of got a intro to her last week when Dana Brooke was being checked on. Kelani came in and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm a big fan. I'm also a gymnast and kind of this and that." And that's now Dana's like, "Hey, I'll be your friend and I'll be out there with you." So here she is taking on Tatum in her NXT debut on TV. There's lots of back and forth, like arm drags. She's very quick and very athletic. Her little like tail of the tape said she's like some like 5-time academic, like American, all these crazy,
gymnast,
all this nutso stuff. And you can definitely see it. She's doing like kip ups, and there's this one arm drag where it's very like lucha-esque, where she like almost climbs and spins around the ropes, almost Vikingo-esque. and keeps
Like King OS.
like King OS. Yeah. Well, a few weeks ago, Thea Hale, was it last week? Thea Hale tried to do that.
Yeah.
She tried to do that. What the Vikingo spot where he bounced?
Yeah.
It was that spot, and she butchered that one.
Yeah.
Here, I thought this was pretty cool. Eventually, it's Tatum going for some sort of suplex lift, and Kelani counters into the Stun Dog Millionaire and picks up a quick victory here in her debut as Dana Brooke cheers her on.
Yeah, like I thought Kelani for her first match looked pretty good here. And we've actually seen that these gymnasts in NXT have been pretty good. Like think Tiffany Stratton, Sol Ruka, they do impressive stuff and they've come a long way. So yeah, Kelani Jordan got a good look. And I thought nice stun dog finish here. Like I thought she looked good.
For her debut, yeah, it was all right. Cora Jade comes out and says, "Oh, how cute, gymnasts hanging out together," and says that you guys have zero effect in your low lives. And they go, "Okay, Cora, you want to settle this? You want to run your mouth? Come to the ring right now. Let's go. Let's fight." Cora walks up and says, "Don't tell me what to do." So I imagine we're getting this next week or the week after that.
As the feud is still continuing with Dana as well. So.
Sure, right, okay, yeah. Cora Jade, my favorite.
Yeah, like we said she's definitely like dropped down a lot, and I don't really see a Dana Kelani Jordan feud particularly helping her at this stage.
We go to Chase U. He returned.
He did.
He has risen. Andre Chase is back. Last week showed up for the save. Here we have Chase U chanting, "Welcome back." Thea Hale is excited as always. Duke is there, and Andre says, "Duke, I want to thank you for stepping up and taking over, grading papers, making sure that Chase U survived, but we didn't just survive, we thrived. So thank you, Duke, the MVP." And then says, "But you can take your seat now." So Duke is like, "Oh." So he says, "Get out of my seat, Nick."
Fucking
Nick. Then they start getting hyped up. They say that Thea should have been women's champion, but she was screwed. So now we turn our attention to Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. Next week, we're going to get our revenge. And Duke just starts getting hyped and says, "We're Chase U, damn it." So yeah, they want their revenge on Charlie and Drew Gulak. And that's going to happen, I think, next week.
Next week it's announced, yeah.
Andre Chase is back.
Do we see the Duke turn next week?
We've been saying this for months, and I just don't think...
But now now Mr. Chase is back. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's tag team title run. That should have happened. Still, we can go back to that. I think they're more popular even now than they were.
I think they're better together than apart.
Exactly, yeah. We go to, are you ready? A real main event. The hyped up match I'm talking about. It's sick.
Yeah.
Not Raw Underground. It's NXT Underground. Slightly less cooler because obviously there's no strippers.
Yeah.
So instantly loses a star rating for me.
No strippers, no Moss, no Shane.
No Shane. So really, it can only go 2 stars.
Yeah. So this was more like blood sport. So ropes removed. It was in the actual arena. I thought with this being a taped show that we might have it kind of in
somewhere else,
in a different location like we had on Raw. But I quite like the presentation of it with all the like almost like lumberjacks on the outside. Gave a different feel to this match for sure.
Absolutely. The way it was shot, the lights, the camp, like everything looked a lot different from what we're used to watching. Very fight pit without the giant cage and everything. So kind of dig it. We have Eddy Thorpe taking on Damon Kemp. Got in Thorpe's corner, Damon Kemp's brother, Gable
What?
Stevenson.
They're brothers?
They didn't really say it, but you kind of
winked and nodded. Yeah.
So, I mean, watching last week's, it was classic wrestling. Like, don't worry, I got your back.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's this going to go? Shockingly, it did not go that way.
Yeah.
It went a completely normal way.
Yeah.
This was pretty sweet. Not going to lie. If you're someone who cherry picks, maybe check this out because it was kind of cool. So, again, blood sport, no ropes. Eddy Thorpe and Damon Kemp are surrounded by people in the ring, and they start going at each other. It's very MMA-esque. They're punching, they're striking, they're slamming.
Mat wrestling a lot, yeah.
Kemp showing off here with like side slam, exploders, throwing this guy around and just striking to him. It's the power of the Jerry curl here with Damon Kemp. He's just so strong with this hair. Keeps getting bigger and fluffier and curlier. Eventually, Kemp and Thorpe are on the outside, and there's like one of these this woman's there, and Kemp kind of uses her as a shield to get some heel heat, and then starts beating up on Thorpe. There's a huge apron power bomb, and then back in the ring, he hits a German suplex. Eddy is just getting beat up here, and finally in the ring, you see Gable kind of getting a little closer, like almost in position to maybe screw Thorpe. Thorpe comes back and starts countering what Gable's got, and then what is this? A belly to belly to the outside.
This is crazy.
Damn near killing Eddy Thorpe.
Off the apron.
No ropes.
To the floor.
Oh,
this was scary.
Underrated spot.
Awesome.
Yeah, underrated spot.
Wow, like you're doing this on just TV NXT.
Almost murdering Eddy Thorpe here.
Look nuts.
Somehow Eddy's body is dragged back into the ring, and as Kemp goes for a power bomb, Eddy Thorpe counters it into a triangle, and then he gets power bombed, but he still locks in the triangle. Very Chuck Liddell Rampage, and he's holding this triangle and he's getting it. And again, you see Stevenson holding his Olympic medal, almost as if he's gonna do something with it. But that's not what happens. And Damon Kemp taps out.
It's referee call. He's
stoppage.
Elbowing him in the head.
He stops him. Yeah, right. Sorry. So he just starts elbowing him.
Stevenson's there going like, elbow him.
Kill him. Yeah. So it's his brother that helped him beat him, right? The ref calls it, and they're celebrating in the ring here, Stevenson and Thorpe, and they're celebrating. The match aside, before we get to the next part, was really cool. Again, a completely different take on what I was not a fan of Raw Underground. It was just so ridiculous. This made it feel like a blood sport, more realistic.
This is more blood sport. I really like this, and I think the kind of fake MMA thing in wrestling sometimes doesn't work. I thought their style really worked here. I'm very high on Damon Kemp. I think his wrestling is really good, his suplexes and throws and stuff. And this was Eddy Thorpe's best match.
Finally, Eddy finally showed
He's
something.
been pretty bland, and this worked for me. That suplex spot was nuts. I love the whole look of it. Everything. This really worked, and I'd like more of this. If Fight Pit has graduated to the main roster now, and that's a main roster.
This is really a Fight Pit, though. It looks like a pit.
Yeah.
This should be Fight Pit. This is Fight Pit. Change the other thing to Fight Cage, or this looks more like that. You know? So
I was very impressed with this. I feel a bit bad for Kemp, who just keeps losing these matches. But I was super impressed.
After the match, some guy gets in the ring, one of the lumberjacks, and kind of looks like he's challenging Stevenson for his Olympic gold medal.
Yeah.
And Gable's like, nah. And then German suplexes this guy to another universe. This was huge.
Yeah.
He starts suplexing all these guys.
These are big guys.
These are huge
throwing
dudes
around as well.
Again, not super. I know Gable Stevenson. I know he's got the Olympic gold medal and he's good at wrestling. He showed up at SummerSlam or whatever, and he's been MIA. But the little spots here, if you showed this on Raw, this would have got covered. I'm sure it will. This should get coverage, considering this guy was just murdering everyone, and then stands tall with Eddy Thorpe. So I guess the team here is gonna stay. I'm wondering where this goes, but I would imagine that it does eventually lead to the brothers kind of coming together.
Yeah, I was a fan of all this. I thought Stevenson looked great at the end here, and we've seen him in segments, but we haven't seen him do a whole lot yet.
Yeah.
So looking forward to finally see him actually wrestle.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was just something so different from normal stuff. And Stevenson's German suplex at the end was insane. We go to Carmelo and Trick backstage. Melo's wearing an Iron Mike Tyson shirt. They say that they like to ball, and now the ball's in our court. And Melo calls out Judgment Day, not just Finn Balor. He says, yo, why don't all of you show up next week? You can be the Judgment Day, but we'll be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So
not a match announced, but a segment. I would think, what do you reckon? Is this gonna be? Is it gonna be Melo Finn again at
Great American
Bash? Do you think?
Yeah, possibly.
Finn beat him on Raw, so it could be something they go with. Maybe. He hasn't got any other feud right now, but setting up probably a tag in a couple of weeks. It's cool. I've been enjoying the involvement of main roster with NXT recently, and I think now you've got Priest with the briefcase. That adds a little wrinkle to this as well, where Priest could always cash in on Melo.
Rhea was here last week too.
Yeah.
But wait, are we getting Dominic Mysterio on NXT next week?
I think so.
He should show up early, maybe learn a few things.
Yeah.
He should be in a Fight Pit, whatever we just watched. Imagine Dom in that. Be great. Yeah. So Judgment Day, apparently, allegedly, all of them next week.
Nice.
NXT. Do you think Finn Mello at Bash? I could see that.
Yeah, I can't really see what other direction.
Because you got Dragunov and Braun 1-on-1, so that leaves Mello kind of challengerless. That would be pretty cool. We go to prison, and it's Tony in prison, and he's being visited by Stacks. Now, last week I was away, but I did catch up. So Stacks is, doing some shady shit with the Coffee Brothers in Dallas. I didn't know the Italians and the Scots work together, but apparently they do here. And Stacks looking a little guilty of some collusion here. Stacks and Joe Coffey, and Tony is furious and says, "You made a deal with this rat, you dirty rat." He says, "I would never betray you," says Stacks. But look, I set it up so that it all works out. Stacks says that I have a match against Joe next week, and if I win, they're gonna drop all charges. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, you're free.
Wrestling's great.
Yeah.
When your friends say you watch wrestling, why? Because
this guy's been in prison for a month.
This guy's in jail, and if his friend beats this other guy, they're gonna drop all charges.
Yeah.
He's gonna be free.
Yeah.
That does not happen in any other medium. So next week, Stacks versus Joe. Joe agrees to this, but if Joe beats Stacks, then Tony's gonna be locked up forever.
Yeah.
So Tony's a little angry and said, "Why did you agree to this? Answer me." He's really angry, doing his best De Niro here. And Stacks says, "Look," Joe says, "It was all Stacks' idea. I had nothing to do with this. He came to me about this." And Stacks says, I might be the underboss, but since you've been locked up, Tone, like, I don't know if he calls him Tone, but it's Soprano, so, Tone. Stacks is basically Christopher, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Business has been good. Like, hey, I've been doing
it's
good."
like Electra Lopez with Legato. It's like, business gone up 9%.
So, like, yeah, 9% of what? Everything.
Business. He's been making moves.
So Tony's getting furious, like, "How could you do this?" This reminded me right then of Arrested Development. No touching.
Yeah.
He's banging on the glass, cable guy. And so basically, this match is happening here. Stacks and Joe Coffey leave, but Joe sits there on the phone and goes, "Tony, this is the last time I'm gonna have to see you. Goodbye." Like, hangs up the phone. And then again, Tony D'Angelo doing his best De Niro in Goodfellas in the phone booth, takes the phone and just starts and just beats the.
So Stack kind of made sense of this story here.
Yeah.
So it's like
He's
Dallas were the rats.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of confirmed.
Yeah.
And Stacks has set up this deal. He's like, "Hey, I saved them the tag titles last week, and now if I beat Joe, we get you free and we get a shot at the tag titles."
Right.
So kind of making sense of it all.
Kind of. So he's in. It's a whole ruse. Him and Tony are actually messing with Joe, I imagine.
I don't know. I think this is Stacks going on his own.
Okay.
Because like they've just struck a deal. He's like, "Okay, well,"
because something's gonna happen next week where either Tony shows up and is actually out already. Like, something's got to happen where they actually screw Gallus over and get the title shot.
Yeah.
So
and then that'll be Great American Bash. I imagine. Yeah.
This is the whole plot of The Irishman, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, The Scotsman.
That been about as long as it. Yeah.
No, nothing's as long as that. I will say, I know we've been higher up on Gallus the last few months, and I'll swear this has nothing to do with it, but I was telling you, my dad recently did the ancestry, and he's like, "Hey, it turns out you're a lot more Scottish than we thought." So it turns out all these times I've been making fun of how I can't understand Scottish people is fine, because I am a lot more Scottish.
Nice.
You know, so
Good
I
for
still
you.
can't understand them, but go Gallus. I hope they retain. Actually, no, it makes more sense that Tony and Stacks win the titles at Great American Bash. Prison Yard match. We go to Noam Dar. He's looking gorgeous. He's looking ridiculous. His flow, his tweed jacket. And he's talking to someone off camera. He says, "Oh, you look perfect. I miss you. Nothing is the same. I talk to you in my sleep. I need you back so badly. You complete me." When the camera pans out, he's talking to a photo of the Heritage Cup.
Aww.
The Metaphors show up and they're like, "Come on, Noam, like, you're better than this. We got you." And Jakara, Lash, and Mensa are like, "Come on, don't worry. We're gonna fix this."
Because we haven't actually had the match, have we? Of
Yeah.
Noam. So I imagine that's a Great American Bash match as well.
Yeah, if he's injured,
I don't think.
they've
I
not-
don't know. It was very odd. He's
Yeah.
not had crutches for the last couple of weeks.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I am still behind the Metaphor.
Yeah.
I do find them very funny, and I do like Jakara Jackson. Miss Jackson's been growing on me as like someone I see some A lot of potential, just the way she carries herself. We go to Kiana James. First,
I think we missed the Lyra versus Jayne match.
Did I skip over that whole match?
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I completely did. We go to, well, it's because they do the thing where they go to their entrance.
They do the entrance,
then there's break,
like
and then like
segments.
3 segments in between the match. So Jacy Jayne was just waiting there forever. Jacy Jayne taking on Bird Lady, Lyra Valkyria. Jacy Jayne's in control here, hits a few strikes and some boots to the face. There's a chin lock that goes on forever during the commercial break. We come back, there's a short super kick for a near fall. Jayne then puts Lyra in the Boston Crab, but like a walls of Jacy here, walls of Jayne. And eventually Lyra gets out of that, but it looked pretty good, like bending her upside down. Lyra comes back with a series of kicks and then a slingshot leg drop, which looked pretty cool. Eventually Jayne goes for something, but it's countered, and calling it the Bird Lady kick, the Falcon kick, and it's over. But right after the match, Jayne is pissed, so attacks Lyra, and then are you ready? Grabs Bird Lady's feathered bird wings entrance gear and plucks the feathers right out of it. Oh my god, what a nasty lady.
Nasty lady.
The sacred feathers, as Vic Joseph called it.
I think Lyra's really good.
Yeah.
I think I said earlier, like Roxanne and Blair, I'd put Lyra in that list as well. I think she's very solid. I think her kicks look great. She's very crisp in ring, and actually pulled out one of Jacy Jayne's better matches
I agree.
as well. And looks like we're continuing with this.
Yeah, I guess so. I do think Lyra's really good, and she could be a bigger star eventually down the line. The wrestling is definitely there, and she likes birds. Kiana James is on the phone going into work at her office, and she's like, I'll call you back. And she sees this sign that says wet paint. So she goes in there, and she sees that Gigi Dolan has trashed her office. There's paint everywhere, and it says you're a phony, and there's roses, and big message that says you never outrun your past. And Kiana James is furious. But I mean, maybe you shouldn't have dumped paint on this girl.
So are we having a paint match or something between these two?
Have you ever had a paint match before? We've had paint.
Paint on a pole?
Paint on a pole match. Yeah. I mean, if this was 2003, it'd be like a paint, like,
yeah,
pool match or something. But I don't really know. I don't really want a paint match, to be honest. Like,
bucket of paint on a pole.
Bucket of paint match. Yeah, we haven't really had artists in wrestling. Like, artiste. I mean, maybe that guy, Berlin, Alex Wright, he was an artist.
True, yeah. They called Nakamura the artist.
The artist, known as Nakamura.
This heat's getting to me.
Yeah. She's dying.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, you can never outrun your past.
No.
Yeah, don't really care about this feud, TBH.
No, hasn't been too compelling to me.
Something that has been in the past little while, which might sound shocking, is Von Wagner, who for some reason is just beating the ever-living piss out of Big Body Javi. What did Javi do to him last? I can't remember, but he talked some shit, clearly. Robert Stone's trying to stop him, like, please, Von, don't do this. When the crowd is going mental for Von.
Yeah, they love this guy.
So he goes to powerbomb him through the table, and Stone's like, no, don't do this. You're better than this. The crowd's going, do it. Fucking do it. So Von smiles and goes, wow.
He also teases the throwing into the crowd like he did to Ikemanjiro.
So he's like, nah, I'll just powerbomb him. So he clears the announce table. I noticed he did not clear Vic Joseph's candy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vic. And powerbombs him through the table. The crowd goes insane. And Von, I think, finally feeling that good inside.
That love from the universe. Yeah.
So what did I tell you? Von's getting over.
Been enjoying Von. This is working 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to get better and better. This should just be his role. Book him like
it needs to be kind of like Festus-esque, you know, where it's like
Stone's in control of him.
Stone's in control, and then he like, you don't want me, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, kind of thing. And then
I'm trying to think, is it like, so Festus was you ring the bell and he's scary. So so Von's gonna have a match with someone, and then when he's like losing, it's just Stone holds up the photo.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he
needs to be just a nice guy, nice, calm, and then throws people out.
I'm not trying to sound crude, but ever since Von may or may not have hooked up with his therapist, he's been a lot nicer. He's been a better guy.
Yeah.
Maybe it just, you know.
He exercised some demons.
Sometimes. Yeah. Just saying. Therapy can help. So yeah, Von finally getting a reaction. You can tell he really loved it. We go to a promo for Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. I'm excited for these two. I've loved these videos so far.
Yeah.
They found Braun's car / Karrion Kross's car / Ciampa's car / every former NXT champion's car. That black, what is it, a Charger?
Yeah.
These guys are driving around, and they're saying that we're brothers, maybe not by blood, but by family, by the streets, and we've been to new places, and it's ready to unleash from younglings to the OGs. Nobody is safe, and they are debuting next week. Nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing these guys. Seem like they're going to be a big kind of powerhouse tag team.
Yeah. So far, the way they talk has interested me.
Their vignettes have been good.
Yeah.
Have felt very old school, like hyping up these two. Yeah. Looking forward to
it. Are they coming out wearing like wife beaters?
I think so.
Tim's,
100%.
Boots to the face.
100%.
Right? Okay.
Like Hunakon Camacho, like that kind of look.
They're saying they are going to take over the tag team division.
Nice.
Here in NXT. It's time for our main event, the main event match at least. It is a Loser Leaves NXT match. The Dyad lads, meaning Rip Fowler and
Jagger Reed,
taking on the Diamond Mine, the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus. And we have Joe Gacy and Ava Raine ringside and Ivy ringside. It starts off with just dynamite here. They're all going at it. Diamond Mine hit a superplex right out the gate, and then Brutus hits like a slingshot Brutus bomb to the outside. Julius goes up for a shooting star press off the top, Brock Lesnar-esque, and the ref's about to count to 3, but Gacy pulls like Reed right out of the ring, which should cause for a DQ, but instead the ref says, Gacy, you are out of here. So the match continues, but a great little false finish where it's like they're just going to squash
them immediately,
get them out of here. So this match continues. Julius is just running house here. He's a freak of nature. He's countering everything. Tags in Brutus, who comes in with a standing moonsault. There's stalling suplexes. Finally, the Dyads are in control, putting boots to Brutus. Julius, though, showing he does not care. He's doing crossbody sentons to the outside onto both guys. He's fighting back. The Creeds hit this Samoan drop, spinebuster, knee lift combo. Eventually, a power bomb on Reed as they go to another commercial break. Lots of time for this match. During this time, Julius gets clipped in the knee, and he's selling it like he couldn't do one of his power moves. So the Dyads smell blood, and they attack it. They're working the leg. They put him in a tree of woe, and they're stomping down on his knee. They're doing everything to block him from tagging in his brother. But finally, the hot tag to Brutus. He comes in like a wrecking ball. He hits Ryback's shell shock for a near fall. And then Brutus hits a springboard 450.
Crazy.
Giving Ricochet a run for his money here. Eventually, Dyads come back with the Doomsday Tope to the outside.
This move is great.
Yeah.
Looks so good. And the way they transitioned into it, it was like, I think Julius was going for a Doomsday, but his knee gave out and they pulled Brutus. It was so smooth running to this like Suicida Doomsday. Looked great.
So they hit one of their patent moves here, and then they start chanting. They start like riffing to the crowd, and I think it's Fowler. 18 years.
18 years.
I thought he was quoting a Kanye song. 18 years. 18 years. So they put the boots to Julius here, and Julius is on one leg and fires up. He counters on one leg, hopping around a double suplex, and then a moonsault to both guys.
He does the kip up on one leg.
One-legged kip up. Very impressed. Eventually, he hits a moonsault to both of them. When Brutus is down, when the ref is distracted, Ava Raine's involved, and a masked man wearing one of the Schism Purge masks headbutts Julius, allowing the Dyads to hit a double jumping code breaker to pick up the win, meaning the Creed brothers are now gone from NXT.
Bit of an upset. I like these Dyad, these poor guys are never leaving NXT, are they?
We just want to leave. Okay, how about we have a match where the loser leaves? Okay, cool. Yeah, but you're going to win it.
I thought this match was great, though. Like, Dyad really, like, credit to them if they want out. They've been wrestling. Like, they're not phoning it in at all in these matches since that, like, tweet of asking for their release. Really good stuff here between the four. Genuinely surprised Diamond Mine leaving. So I expect a call-up imminently. But just... these four, like, I think we saw these four have a couple of matches last year. This eclipsed that, I thought. I thought this was really good stuff. Like, the Creeds are just awesome. Like, Julius, the suplex kip-up spots he does, like, it's one crazy. After another.
It's not human.
doing this shit, selling it on one leg. Brutus, even, like, for a guy his size, the stuff he's hitting. Really enjoyed this. Genuinely surprised with the outcome.
I mean, so it shows the attacker. It doesn't reveal them. It's some other person in a red hoodie. It did not look like it was Jacy.
No.
The body type.
Had a beard, I think, though.
Oh, really?
Saw, yeah.
Okay. So either they have a new addition or something like that. But I don't know. They kind of gave the Creeds like they waved to the crowd. But I also would be like, hey, you lost because of a cheater. So you would probably revert this. Like Sean,
I don't think this is being reversed.
No, you think they're gone?
No, it showed like after the break, it showed like their farewell to the crowd. It was like what you may have missed, and they're like,
these guys are ready for main roster. Like we've been singing their praises for a while. Julius will be WWE champion one day, and if you brought this team to the main roster, there's so many tag matches you could do. You give them the titles, you give them a run against KO and Sammy. There's a lot you can do.
Wrestling wise, they're there. I still think promos and things they could have done with a bit more seasoning.
Agreed.
In NXT. But maybe sink or swim. Just put them up.
But also holding out for that Braun Breaker, Creed Brothers like unit where there's 3 wrestling monsters. But yeah, the way these guys wrestle just keep getting better and better. And I'd say the same thing with the Dyads. GYV, we love these guys for a long, long time. And maybe this is the kind of fire under the ass that they needed to get them to go places, because they're still delivering. And these 2 teams could wrestle every week, and I'd still really into it. As much as I love the Fight Pit and the other match, I'd probably say this was my favorite match.
I thought the wrestling was really strong this week, actually, on NXT. Really good main event, and they gave them time here.
2 breaks
felt
through this,
like I didn't feel shortchanged, which sometimes I do on these NXT main events. Really good stuff here.
There's definite times doing NXT since, everyone seemed to not care about NXT, and we're still here covering it. And there's times when I'm like, oh, I got to watch NXT today. But then when I watch it and there's like wrestling that's just so good, like this one, like it feels like it's like a band that you love and not everyone's found on yet. And then in a few years when people are like, oh man, the Creeds brothers, they're awesome. It's like, yeah.
They went 18 minutes. That's
wild.
Really long for NXT. I was very impressed.
Well, we get Finn Balor backstage cutting a promo. It looked like it was filmed at Raw, saying there is no happy endings in wrestling, Mello. So you want to see us next Tuesday? We'll be there. Judgment Day. I think we are getting Balor Mello at the Great American Bash.
And I imagine this will bring some eyes to NXT. Like NXT rating wise have been doing pretty well recently. And I think it's starting to catch a bit of steam again, and doing things like having Rollins down there, Judgment Day down there. Hopefully it brings, like your Raw viewers, I want to see Judgment Day on Tuesday, and then they watch and they can see a match like that tag and be like, wow, who are these guys?
Yeah.
I feel NXT's kind of on the way up again.
Maybe Dom will visit Tony in prison and give him some tips.
Love it.
How to get out of here.
100%.
Tony, you need out? I got you. Gives him a shank.
Yeah.
Roll of quarters, something like that. Next week, Judgment Day will be here, but also we're getting Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey against Duke and Chase. We're also getting Ivy versus Tiff and Stax versus Joe.
Trial versus Freedom.
Yeah, but then a few other things I'm sure will be added. This is when we saw the clip of the Creeds kind of waving goodbye to NXT, so it kind of does tease that they might be done here. Possibly. But it's time for our main event kind of segment here. Braun Breaker comes out. Got Dog Me. It does look like you can't read those letters because it's like in black and white and stuff. Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, his Titantron and maybe his shirt looks the same. But
Got Dog Me.
Got Dog Me. Can we make a shirt? Got Frog Me. No one would know what it means. It's Got Frog Me.
Got Frog Me.
Leap my frog. Braun Breaker has a microphone. Cuts a great promo here. He says, I've competed in the most watched NXT in 2 years, all because I called out Seth Rollins. And we stole the show. I was real close, a fraction of a second from taking that WWE World Heavyweight title from him. You see, I've had 78 matches. That's about the same amount of matches that Seth Rollins has had at PLEs. And, he's made his way through high school gyms and bingo halls, but I didn't have to do that. I've been here live every week. My first night, I beat one of the hottest stars now in LA Knight. I'm only 25 years old, and I'm already that damn good.
You know what's weird? Is Cage Match says he has 80 matches.
He's lying.
Wouldn't 80 just be better anyway?
78.
Yeah.
See, he's clearly counting live shows, right?
Or maybe he's not counting
Fair.
live
Fair,
shows.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's had more.
Since he's at 80.
Does it, like, wrestlers, you know, you read Jericho's book, they'll be like, oh, I've had over this many matches, because live matches count when you're wrestling, right? But then WWE, sometimes they don't count the, like, live shows, right? So there's certain
With
things.
titles and things, sometimes they don't. Yeah.
Braun continues and says, yeah, get used to seeing this face. You see this face? Every time you see this face? He says, you're going to get used to it, because I'm going to beat more people, and I'm going to win more championships. So what's next for Braun Breaker? Well, we'll tell you what's next. Ilya Dragunov comes out. He's got a microphone. He says, I'll tell you what's next. I'm next in line. And you see, Braun, I came out here, and I didn't come out here to attack you from behind. I came out here to let you know that you say you're the most dangerous man in NXT. Well, you're not, because you're in the ring with the most dangerous man. And he just kicks him in the face, and then they start to fight. They start to brawl. It's a huge pull apart with the referees and security, jobber cops alike. And Ilya just runs out of the ring, does this crazy dive to them, and they're being pulled apart as NXT goes off the air, which would leave us to believe that at the Great American Bash, Braun versus Ilya.
Which sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Braun sounded great here. I almost felt he was getting a bit of a babyface reaction here.
The promo was kind of babyface.
I felt like the crowd were kind of like, you know what? Yeah, you're impressive. You've had 78 matches and you've done all this shit and you've been kind of like leading this brand for the last 2 years. Like, power to you.
Yeah.
You're 25. I see huge things for Braun Breaker. This match is going to be insane. I think it's one of the most excited I've been about an NXT match, I think, just because we know what Ilya can do, and Braun keeps on delivering as well. So I think this card looks pretty good so far.
Like, let's look at it. If it is Melo, Finn, Dragunov, Braun, Wes, Ali, that's three
really
crazy
good.
matches that are must watch. So Sunday, July 30th, going to be a banger, and we'll be going live right after Great American Bash in a few weeks. But you know what? I was feeling the wrath of July 4th last night, and I was struggling to put on NXT this morning. But as soon as I did, I was getting into a lot of stuff.
Really good show.
So I was pretty pleased. Yeah.
We were really positive about most segments.
We were watching this and we were like, oh man, do we want it? We have to do this. And then we were like getting into it. And I'd say there was a lot of really good wrestling this week. And, you know, Corbin with his stuffed owl drinking whiskey, Ali Bate, the fight pit, Eddy Thorpe, Stevenson killing people with German suplexes. I don't know. I was pretty entertained.
They're on a roll right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully can keep up this momentum. But yeah, NXT really been an enjoyable watch again recently.
Honestly, yeah, it has. And if this is what we're fantasy booking this Great American Bash card in a few weeks, it's probably going to be a pretty good show. So can't wait for that. And I mean, over under, NXT beats AEW Collision in the ratings this week and next week.
I think it did last week.
It did this week and probably last.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was NXT. We hope you enjoyed that show, or us talking about that show. We didn't put any feedback up.
I'm sorry, we forgot. We were,
Megan's gonna, I'll just do it off the top of my head. Megan wrote in a review of the whole show, and then Jake copy and pasted what he said.
Sword of Damocles.
And then Frank wrote in and said it was lit.
Fire.
I just got all the feedback in.
That's it.
Love you guys. That was NXT. We'll be back on Sunday with a new Poisonrana, chatting everything about AEW and everything else going on this week, including Kenny versus Wheeler Yuta, which is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for that match. And then Punk versus Joe this week as well, which I hope is awesome as well. So lots of stuff. Follow our Patreon as well. Follow the socials for everything else that we're doing. We will be back to Tuesday night next week for our NXT post show. So follow us on the Post Wrestling feed. Click follow on all the social medias. And we can't do this without you guys. So I hope you guys are staying cool wherever you may be. Stay hydrated. You know, it's hot out there.
Yeah, I've gone loopy, I think.
The heat.
Yeah.
Heat of the moment. I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me Twitter, Instagram at the Brady.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And burn the ships.
Ahoy!
Poisonrana.